Hello everyone and welcome to round 14 of the AOR PC Split 1 Season 10 Championship around the Korea International Circuit. And well, it's a track I do not really know what to think of. I do not really have good experiences with that track. Last time I was in Season 9.5 I forgot to load my setup and finished 9th, I think it was, in the second race. Well, we tried to improve here on my 36.3, which is 5/10 off my PB, so that's not very good lap time from us so far. So breaking down into the first corner, a small lockup, but doesn't really compromise our exit speed, which is very good. And we're using our curves from 4th gear on until we're opening up the DRS. And we are just about maxing out, I think, on 330k, I think that was. And down into the first gear, clipping the apex nicely, and also very good exit. So we should be up in that first sector, which wasn't really good on my previous lap. And you see almost 1.5 times finding in that first sector, so that's very close to my PB in that first sector. Down into first gear for this complex of corners. A little bit too direct approach for that second turn, but a good run through the last for the last bit here. But overall, not quite like I would have wanted to go through those corners. Down into 4th gear for that left-hander, and a little bit too late braking for that right-hander here. Very wide through, then also compromised our exit for sure. And now into this very double left-hander, opening up the right-hand as much as possible. Almost the curb almost catches us out, and we are 1.5 tenths, almost 2 tenths up on our time, so that's not too shabby. And now in the last sector we go. That's a little bit cautious, also running wide at the first part of that last sector. So let's see how much we can improve on this lap. I think it's not that much actually, and it isn't. We're stuck on a 36.2, which is P4 on the grid. I'm a little bit disappointed with that because I was pretty consistent on a single lap pace in qualifying. So, well, but good for our teammate who's in second place, 9 tenths behind Marco FD. Magnussen is in 3rd. Poss is a very good qualifying from him in 5th. Kauk with a good qualifying as well in 6th. Cool Cat, Nikki, Hamish and Honeybutter rounding up the top 10, and again starting on the prime tires, so not too bad actually for the prime tires actually that time, considering that he used the medium tires and not the soft ones as usual. And Nuka and Lucas rounding up the field today for 12 drivers, which is not too much, but I think it's still okay. I mean, we're heading towards the end of the season, and it's always an issue to get the drivers motivated for the when it doesn't really count, because well, for drivers' championship is pretty much decided, and constructors also will be very difficult for us to catch up to the Ferraris. Well, 3-stop, actually planning a 3-stop option prime, which is a similar tactics to the Xbox leagues, but I think 2-stop and 3-stop doesn't really have much of a difference. I think we will see some alternate strategies in this one here. And yes, setup is not really special. Maybe apart from the balance is 3.11, something I do not really use. Often use 6.11 or 1.11 or 8.11, but it's something in between, so it's a little bit different from other tracks, I guess. But well, overall, setups do not really change for me. It should be something that is better in 2016, according to some videos. So yeah. Let's not really talking about that really. Let's just concentrate on this race, starting on P4 on the grid, and the lights are going out about now, and away we go for the Korean Grand Prix. And we're having a quite an okay-ish start of the launch of the line, and going up the inside of Magnussen, which is very good. If we could take the position from him, and we do so. So yeah, that's went pretty almost perfect for us Mauritius, and look at that, Marco's already pulling away, so no chance for Klewitsky to attack him. And we try not to be too aggressive on this first lap, and just try to hit those apexes and stay behind Klewitsky. And if we are faster, well, I'm pretty sure he will not fight too much, as this would, as battling would compromise up both races very, very heavily. But he's going defensive here a little bit, but we're not really that aggressive here, not that keen to make a move yet. As we know, with that superior pace Marco has on this track, as you also saw in the qualifying, we're not really having a chance, any chance to catch him. So it's basically a basically the task to keep Magnussen behind for the moment and just see what we can do against him in this race, and then we will see, yeah, basically what guys like Hamish, Honey Badger, maybe also Posses from behind can do. For the moment, look at that, Marco's already maybe 1.5 to 2 seconds or so in front of Kluitsky, so he's already pulling away, so there's definitely no chance we can catch him. We can have a little bit of a better run through the last couple of corners than our teammate, which was normally the case. Also in qualifying, the last sector was the sector where I gained a little bit more of time to him, and he was strong in the first sector, just because of braking zones, I guess. So we're completing the first lap and still in P3, a little bit of oversteer here, but we're certainly close to a teammate, but it doesn't really seem like we are about to make a move, as he possibly used a load of his curse. And we're braking at the normal time, and we're getting a tap from behind from Magnussen, so that wasn't really fair from him. He goes up the inside and was a little bit annoyed of that. He shouldn't go for that move if he clearly touched us there and pushed us wide. We're braking very late to defend that position for Magnussen. We need that position. And we have the inside line for this corner here for turn 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? I think it's 4. So we're defending that position, although that was could have been a little bit of an, I'd just say a little bit of an illegal overtake, simply because he pushed us and then got up the inside. So yeah, but we defended that, so nothing really happens. And we didn't lose touch to a teammate, which yeah, is also good to see. And look at that on the minimap. I mean, Marco is really putting where we're touching the barrier here, which is, I mean, that corner is sometimes very tricky. Actually, you really have to get it right and hit the apex there to carry as much speed as you can through there. Not quite full throttle, but as holding the throttle as long as you dare, pretty much. And Magnussen now maybe going up the inside into turn 1. He does. He backs out of it, but we're leaving him the room just in case he wants to. And Marco's setting a new fast lap, which is 1 second faster than ours. Well, for 40.9, it's not really a good lap, and we're now having the DRS and go up the inside of our teammate. And we're making a half defensive line. We're getting another tap from behind, this time from our teammate, which wasn't really good. It just set him to carry on, because that, I mean, otherwise it would have had the impact that Magnussen would go past, and he's trying at the inside of Magnussen, but our teammate, but he's braking very late for turn 3, and we're having the inside line once again, but he's holding it around my outside, and we're now here's the inside line. We can't make that move stick, so we break very late for turn 3, and that just was the key to keep it in front of Magnussen, although he was maybe 20-30 meters or something in front. So that was quite a nice move, I guess. One of my better moves this season, definitely, also from considering tactics. And this time on lap 4 we are overtaking our teammate once again, and look at this, Magnussen going up the inside of our teammate, and we are 3 wide into the hairpin, which is absolutely insane. I didn't even notice that my teammate was still there. I think he fell back, and now both of them are going past me, and now we're trying to go up the inside of Magnussen once again to keep that position. And now pretty much opposite thing from lap 3, but we're holding it again against Magnussen. So insane battling here for the first 4 laps, although a little bit of context here and there, but insanely how we came through 3 wide into turn 2. That was simply amazing. Again on at the beginning of lap 5, again another tap from Magnussen, which will will allow us not to overtake Klotsky on this straight here. So a little bit too much tires for my liking at the moment. So very much losing time to the guy, to Marco, and again Magnussen on the inside here, but no, that doesn't really work, does it? We're pulling away at the, actually, despite the immense battling going on from the cars behind me. They're also battling, of course. So just see, I actually plan to pit on this lap here on lap 5 to go on another option stint. And we're actually in lean mixture at the moment, as our teammate doesn't seem to be excessively fast, so we have to pace at the moment to keep it with him, which is wasn't always the case in this season, as we're diving now into the pits at the end of lap 5, a little bit for yeah, the pit entry is very, very difficult. We ran a little bit wide because we missed the apex there, but that shouldn't have gained us too much time, I guess. Maybe 1/10 or something. We do, yeah. So we're switching on to the option tires to go out on our second stint, and we're coming out in P7 with Clean Air and Hamish behind us now, who pitted on lap very, very early, as he's setting a new fastest lap of 39 flat. But he now has, he's on the option tires. I know that I can confirm that he's on the option tires. So he's definitely older tires than us, so we should be fine to pull away now, because 2 laps fresher tires on the option on this track is absolutely mental. So gap to Hamish is now 2.2 seconds, and we're rejoining in P5. And look at this, my teammate at Magnussen, no, Magnussen's still out actually, but and my teammate, Magnussen and Klotsky came out behind Hamish, so that undercut which we had was absolutely huge in that one lap. I think it was over 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds even, and that was pretty insane. But we now have to track position, and now find it's our task to find our rhythm, and maybe just concede that provisional P2, I think it is. Just try we can see what we can do in this race. So in lap 9 we can see Hamish catched up to us. He absolutely amazing. I don't know how he manages the tires so well, with 2 laps for older tires to close that gap from 2 seconds within 3 laps, I guess it was. Marco is 3.3 seconds down the road, but he's on the prime tire, so I assume he's going to do a 2-step strategy here. So he's definitely on a different strategy, but we're still keeping the gap, so we're not really closing in on him, as Hamish now makes possibly a move up on us, and he's already gone past us, but he's going very defensive also in that hairpin. It's very slow in the apex, and if we are nailing out the traction job, which we do, and using the rest of our curves now, maybe we can do a counter attack, which would be very, very crucial. Just show him, no, you may have the superior pace, but we will fight for that position. And holding it round the outside just about here into turn 5, and we're maintaining that position, which is very, very crucial at the moment, to keep that track position, to keep that second place. And the car's back now, well, from P4 to P6 now. I think that's between Magnussen, Klotsky and Honey Badger, if I'm not mistaken. So Honey Badger on his second prime stint, or is he on an option stint? I'm not too sure what Honey Badger is doing at the moment. I simply forgot. So Marco increases the gap now to 4.4 seconds, and Hamish is dropping off a little bit. Maybe his tires are starting to go off. Surely, I mean, surely I think that's his 6th lap or something on these tires. And actually, he's diving into the pit at the end of lap 10. So I assume he's going for another set of the option, but that would concede he would do a very, very long prime at the end. So maybe he's on the prime tires. So I'm not too sure what Hamish is on at the moment. I was pretty sure he was on the option tires. He went to the option tires, and again making the same mistake in going into the pits on lap at the end of lap 12, and again going on to the option tires. Just well, strategy wise, it's pretty much given. So, but these tires here I'm going on now are actually used tires from qualifying, simply because I was not really having a good qualifying session. So I used 3 of the sets, and with using also 3 in the race, of course one fresh set of tires is now used, which is this one here. So I'm only going to do 6 laps on them, and I went for 7 laps on the other on the previous stint. So that's a little bit of a compromise in our strategy, as we're now behind Cool Cat, who's in very worn prime tires, and we try to make overtaking as soon as possible, but he runs very wide in that third sector. So that was pretty straightforward move.
Oh shit.
Capitalizing on that mistake, and now Kauk in front of us, who's I think as well on the prime tires. So same strategy for him as Cool Cat. And yeah, we can brake massively later than Kauk, and you can see visually we're right on his gearbox now, and I decided to use all of my curves just to prevent that he's going to counter here into the hairpin. We should be fine if he doesn't make any stupid outbraking maneuvers. He brakes very late, and there's again a little bit of a tap. He just braked himself here. Look at that. Look at how far behind he is actually at the moment. So we are on lap 18, and gap to Marcus now 5 seconds, but he already made his last pit stop, and gap to Hamish is 4.5 seconds, but I can confirm that he was on the prime tires. So incredible pace on the prime tires for Hamish. So we just didn't really lose time whatsoever on these prime tires compared to our options, which were a little bit worn, but I mean still, these option tires are so much quicker than the primes on a single lap pace. And yeah, I don't know how he managed that. So we're going on the prime tires now for 10 laps on them, which shouldn't be too much of an issue, but we have to be very consistent, and also watch out for Hamish towards the end of the race, because he's not actually in yet. So maybe he's going for another set of option tires. I'm not sure about that. But now on lap 20, you can see we are behind Possis, I guess, and Possis makes a huge mistake into that corner, and he's still on his second stint, I guess, is Possis. So he's possibly doing an option prime option, which is a very strange strategy in my opinion. And he tries to do a counter attack here on the inside, maybe. We're braking a little bit later than him, but still leaving room on the inside. But there's nothing he can really do. Look at that superior traction we have out of that corner with that fresh tires. So we are on lap 24, and Hamish closed the gap from 4.5 seconds within 3 laps on the prime tires. Actually, he is on the prime tires, so I think he pitted 1 lap later or 2 laps later than us. I'm not too sure, and gap was 4 seconds or something. So now he's right behind us. Let's see what he can do. He's on the inside for the turn 2. And we try to defend that as long as possible, and he's backed out of that, so we're defending that position for this lap at least. I'm not sure about next lap. I'm skipping to the end of lap 24, do we? So yeah, he's very close behind us. I just mentioned that Magnussen went for an option prime option stint. He's now 16 seconds in front of us, and he's actually catching Mark by quite a big margin, but Mark has such a big gap. He's now entering turn 3, so he doesn't really well, he has this race in the back pretty much. As Hamish now overtakes us, nothing we can really do, and we saved a little bit of our curve. So if we are having a good turn 2, we should be able to hang it with him on this straight, but we're having a good exit, and we're putting him into ridge, and we're using the rest of our curves, but he's pulling away. He's absolutely pulling away, and he has no curves. He had no curves left. I knew that he had no curves left. So well, I don't know, the 1-1 wings for sure, but something else. Well, just couldn't do really anything, and we're skipping out to the last lap of the race. Gap to Hamish is 7.5 seconds. 7.5 seconds. So he pulled out the gap from 7.5 seconds within 4 laps. this is like I'm driving in Split 4 and he's driving in, I don't know what league he's driving, but definitely not in the same league as I am. This is ridiculous pace from Hamish on these last laps. And we actually have to watch out for Honey Badger, who's actually on this option tires and has similar pace to Hamish. On these tires, with also setting the fastest lap of a 36.8 a couple of laps ago. But if we're not making a mistake, we should be fine coming home in P4, as Marco crosses the line in P1, and Magnussen also coming home in P2. Hamish comes home in P3, and yeah, we will defend from Honey Badger, so one lap later he would have overtaken us, but he didn't, and we finished actually in P3 provisional, as Hamish got a 10-second penalty for a very weird incident with Cool Cat. But well, Stewart's decision is still not out on that yet, so at the moment we have P3 after very silent, a consistent race from us. Well, I think I had a K-ish pace, not the best, but I think it was still quite okay. But 26 seconds into the end behind Marco is very, very huge. That's almost a second in a lap. So Honey Badger in P5, Klawitsky in P6. In the end, not really a good race from him. I think it's not really his track. Well, he simply hates that track. I know that. Passes in P7 in the end with the option prime option. Same strategy for Magnussen as well. So Nuka is in 11th in the end, and Cool Cat disconnecting. I didn't catch that, but unfortunate for him. I definitely would have scored points today. So his Drivers' Championship, Marco is now 102 points in front of Magnussen, which means if he finishes ahead of Magnussen in Japan, he will win the championship with 4 races to go. So that's pretty insane. We're overtaking our teammate for 1 point. Hamish is in 5th, Honey Badger, and well, everything behind is as it was in this race. Kauk now with 10 points, so that's he's finally settling into this league with some points paying positions. Today finishing 8th, so that's not too bad. Constructors, I mean, that's pretty down and dusted. Over 60 points is the gap to Ferrari. That's very, very difficult to close that. McLaren also over 50 points behind us, so that's not really of an issue. I hope so, at least, to secure second in the championship there. And that's it from this race. Hope you enjoyed it. Next time it is in the for the Japanese Grand Prix. Catch you for that in the next video, which is going to be, I think, in a week or something. So bye bye. See you next time. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in Japan. Bye bye.